No, I mean, anything. It's just that, she just is aware, just knew immediately that I would be armed. I mean, we've been in situations where she said to me, "You have your gun, right?" Like something was about to happen. His look at her like, "Really? You have to ask this question?" So, but I agree with Joe. It's not, not everyone. That's just my personal situation. So, any woman I've ever been in dating, even before I was married, and doesn't matter. It just that was the I guess understood condition.
Okay, so I mean, I didn't think she was lying, but I was just really curious as to whether it's an ongoing discussion. Are we carrying tonight? Sometimes your better half may say, you shouldn't wear those shoes with that shirt or something like that, or maybe you don't bring the 45 tonight. Yeah, I don't know. It's not
only if it clashes with your outfit.
Exactly. All right.
You have to match, right?
Yep. Let's get to our first video tonight. This one comes to us out of Fresno, California, from the Fresno Police Department. And it turns out police end up shooting a man who's armed, but he's armed with a toy gun.
911, state emergency. Hello?
Hi, I'm at Fort Washington Fitness. I'm just leaving there. There's someone driving around saying they're going to start shooting people.
Okay, you have a description of the vehicle or the person?
He was wearing a hood and just like a white wagon.
Okay, and tell me what happened. What was the person doing?
Just driving around, and he was waving a gun out the window. It looked like he said he was going to start shooting, and I just got out of there.
Security cameras captured the VW wagon driven by Mr. Brooks, circling the shopping center parking lot, waiting for officers to arrive.
Guard, put your hands up! Walk back over here with your hands up now! Put your hands up! Take your hands out of your pocket now! Hands out of your pocket! I'm going to shoot you! Take your hand out of your pocket, dude. Pocket.
Officers believe the object Mr. Brooks pointed at them in the darkness was a gun. After the incident, it was learned Mr. Brooks was pointing a toy at them. In a post-incident interview, Mr. Brooks told detectives that he intended to end his life, but he was unable to do so himself. Instead, he made the false 911 report and forced the officers to engage him for that purpose. Officers ensured there were no additional suspects or victims in Mr. Brooks' vehicle and then rendered medical aid until the arrival of paramedics. His injuries were not life-threatening.
Okay, it's the classic suicide by cop situation. How do you deal with the suspect who wants to be shot? How do you deal with a situation like this? David Katz, your thoughts on what we just saw?
Never thought I'd say this, but thank goodness in this particular instance, the officers were lousy marksmen. I mean, he let like 2 magazines go, and the injuries were not life-threatening. Well, look, in this situation, there's you have to understand, put yourself in the officer's position. They go to the scene. They expect to see what he really set up. A man who is threatening to use a firearm. He gets out. So it's going towards them. He's disobeying commands. He reaches into his pocket. He's told not to do that. He comes out, takes a shooting stance. There's no way you could ascertain at that distance in the dark that this is not a real pistol. So from a procedural standpoint, officers did the right thing. But folks, that's why you gotta go to the range a little more frequently and shoot under stress.
Joe Ested, your thoughts?
My thoughts, when I look at this incident, I'm always looking at these incidents as an instructor. When we start talking about protocol training, these guys received a call of an armed subject. You got to understand the distance creates time, because with deadly force, they always ask you to actually try to find other options. That distance allows that options. They use the vehicles as barrier, which is another option to create more time. Then you give the verbal commands. The conversation of back and forth was excellent, but once the subject started closing that distance, and then he took the posture like he had a firearm, and what the officers perceived as a weapon, they used deadly force. Dave is probably 100% right. The guys definitely need some more training, but nationwide officers don't shoot really well anyway. So that's something we might want to look at as well. So good tactics. Officers did an amazing job.
That was not very comforting what you just said there, Joe Ested, just by the way.
It's true.
It's true. Vinnie, you want to know the statistic?
Go ahead.
80% of rounds fired by law enforcement miss. And the back end of that is those bullets are going someplace.
Wow. All right, we've got more Crime Time straight ahead. Joe Ested, David Katz staying with us. Up next, the story you'll probably only see in Florida.
Behind the news.
Our Crime Time segment still with us, Joe Ested and David Katz. Here we go. The story again, you're only going to find out of the Sunshine State from the Orlando Police Department. Police chasing an intoxicated woman in the airport driving a suitcase.
I don't want to leave. I'm just trying to go home and enjoy myself. I'm trying to go home.
See that?
Is your sister going to stay with you? Can you call her real quick for me?
She's already on the flight.
Well, I don't want you to be alone.
She's already hung up. You want me to be alone because you hung up. You and not let me on my flight.
You're a very nice young lady.
So why do you feel like it's not okay for me to get on my flight?
Because you're under the influence of alcohol.
All right, Chelsea, here's what's going to happen. They're giving you your money back, okay? You don't have to do anything. They're going to do that on their end. But to get you a flight now, you have to get back on the tram and head back to the terminal. We need you to go to the terminal. See?
Suck my. Suck my. Oh, I can suck my.
Okay, Chelsea. I'll help see her out. You guys are good. Gonna have a bike pursuing a suitcase in a minute.
Everybody the race. Even Renee. I want everybody's race.
Howdy.
I'm being treated like everybody's. That's up, sis.
Chelsea, you gotta get off. The doors are gonna close. Negative, thank you. Chelsea, can you do me a favor? Can you roll with me to the main terminal? You can't hang out here. It's a secured area.
What the?
Follow me, Chelsea. We'll roll out together. Chelsea, I'll race you. Chelsea, if this continues, you will be arrested for disorderly conduct.
Chelsea,
Did you spit at me? She's done. She's done. She spit at me.
I ain't doing this.
I see. It's all recorded, so if you want your and then you can reflect. Stop spitting. Nope. Stop. Go to her side. Stop hitting your head.
You killing me right now, Mom.
You have a rip pop on there by chance?
Oh, no, dude.
Chelsea, stop. Chelsea, you need to stop this nonsense. You need to improve your behavior. You need to improve your behavior, Chelsea. Chelsea, stop this. Chelsea, stand up. Chelsea, stand up. All right, reverse. Nice and easy, all right?
Right, but you're gonna get it from the jump and started pushing on shit.
All right, slide in. Watch your feet.
All right, first question I've out of the box, Joe Ested. Can you be charged with DUI if you're driving a motorized suitcase? Just got to get that out of the way here.
This is way beyond my expertise. I hope Dave, as my partner, the federal agent there, can shed some light. I've never seen a motorized scooter. I've never seen that. We've seen things, but I've never seen that. This is the first. Now, we got some public intoxication. I understand that. And I did not like dealing with intoxicated people because a lot of times they have no recollection when they sober up. I have people act just like this and then later on apologize for their behavior. But as far as this DUI on a motorized suitcase, I definitely will be going to the manual or going to my partner Dave here.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that, David. I have to check, I guess, the local laws down there. But David Katz, your thoughts about this entire situation? I guess it's a good idea to keep people who show up under the influence, keeping them off of planes these days. But your thoughts of the way that the officer handled this, and it took a long time to get her out of the airport.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, leaving aside the 15 or 20 jokes that I could just lead with, I'll get right into the meat of it. The officer did a great job. And to your point, why are they serving this woman? I mean, presumably she's waiting in the airport, getting drunker and drunker. I mean, if that's in fact, wasn't an altered mental state, if it wasn't, diabetes or something like that, I'm assuming she is in fact intoxicated. I'm sure the officer smelled it on her breath in person. Why are they serving that much alcohol is beyond me. But if you'll notice one thing, the way he's handling her, it's textbook trying to de-escalate, defuse. There was a verbal, Joe knows all this. Verbal judo, a guy named George Thompson, a street cop, came up with this great program. You de-escalate. You try to bring things down. He's using humor. He said, "I'll race you," but then she spits. Then it's all bets off. And even when they had to use force, they were gentle, they were kind with her, and realizing her situation. It's not an evil person; it's a person who's inebriated.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, there's something going on there. She's obviously got some issues that she's got to deal with, but it's the job of police to make everyone else safe as well.
Yeah, and her as well. People don't understand. They think the officer's being mean, but for her safety, it's probably the best thing is to take her into custody, because you don't want her walking around and injure herself, walk into a car, because I've seen that happen as well.
Yeah, so when someone mentioned the story, they mentioned this woman gets arrested. She's driving a suitcase around the airport. And, jokingly, I said, "Oh, where was it? Where in Florida was it?" And they said, "Orlando." And I was like, really? It just has to be. I don't know why it always works out that way. But Joe Ested, David Katz, always great to have you on the show. We appreciate your time, your insight. Have a great, great night. Thank you so much.
All right, guys. So long, Joe. So long, Vinnie.
Okay, folks, when we come back, we're going to take you inside the courtroom. We'll have a report from Julia Janae down in